So I have looked through some crap, and
Yeah.
I've not uncovered anything that big or meaningful, but I have found some stuff that's probably fun. So yeah,
Okay.
welcome to the Anispective cast where we talk about Digimon, and there's absolutely nothing at all that got censored this episode.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the version we watched is probably fine. The American
Yeah, the
version probably
version
got
we
censored
watched
like
is
crazy.
yeah. Our version's fine. The other version, oh boy, there's some fun stuff. And by that I mean one fun thing I found specifically, because I was like, oh, I bet they, it's like, yep, yeah, of course they censored it. Uh,
Yeah, that was my thought when I saw the scene in question. I was like, there's no way this aired on American TV normally.
my hentai dude came back this episode. Yeah, I was just thinking, I really wish I really wish I knew how look at the animation team episode by episode, cuz that information is probably out there. I am not good enough at researching to figure it out. But it's just watching through, it's you can just feel it in the animation. It's okay, yeah, this is the guy. This is the guy from that Akuto episode way back with his parents. This is the horny animator dude who makes a really good animation. I don't know what the heck is, but it's these two episodes specifically are great, and they look really good, and there's really good animation in them, and they're focused on the lamest villains ever, and they're somehow making them work. He really does like the ladies. There's just some shots going back where it's he has paws on Yoshino. It's holy crap, he's going all in.
There's a weird shot of Yoshino where, it looks like her body is way too long.
Yeah, it's probably the one I'm thinking of, which unfortunately I didn't get a screenshot of. But it's she looks really long, and it's every single wrinkle on her shirt, around her boobs, is just detailed in. And it's jeez, man.
Calm down.
This is a good looking shot, but holy crap. Oh, man. Yeah. This episode, I forget this girl's name. I really probably should have looked that up. But yeah, we finally Nanami. Yeah, we finally deal with Nami. We finally deal with Gothic Lolita girl. Cause Kurata just starts an attack on. Actually, no. Before even that, Kara's just oh yeah, we should probably attack Eldoradamon and capture all those Digimon by killing them and absorbing their data. We're going to capture their remains. And you see his bio Digimon villain group, and they have a little moment to be normal people, and they're just chilling out, and they're oh yeah, what do you think, Nanami? You're a genius. You should be able to figure out a good strategy. And she's fine, I guess I'll do it, or whatever. It's very much just oh hey, Nanami, you're really smart, huh? And it's oh, this is the first time hearing of this.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like they characterize the not like we got much character from these people before.
This is the wildest 180 whiplash, because it's oh yeah, these guys are kind of whatever, and their evolutions are kind of lame, and they're just kind of fairly bland feeling designs for the most part. Outside of Nanami, she's pretty out there. And it's you get into this episode, and it's oh crap, she actually has personality traits and a whole philosophy on the world and stuff. And she has motives and desires outside of just being a bad guy.
I mean, Nanami's motivation is that being a genius has caused everything to be boring, and so she's killing Digimon for the fun of it.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, I would over and go like agree on this, but I really like this crap where it's like, oh, she actually has like a whole deal now, and we start learning about these guys' motivations, and it's like, okay, they're all like in this for very different reasons, and they have their own like like things going on. And she's like, oh yeah, you understand me, right, Thoma? Aren't you also just bored by the people around you and you're like just using them to prop yourself up? And it seems to get to him. Like she like hits the nail on the head. And it's like, okay, they have like a cool little dynamic going on where like, they're like trying to outthink each other and Nanami's just that step above them. It's like, oh, she's just like a bit further ahead. She can just read them like a book. And they're like hamming on the like romantic tension like crazy this episode.
I don't think I wouldn't call it romantic so much.
Yeah, less romantic, more sexual tension. Let's be accurate.
I mean, she's just trying to seduce him to their side.
She is trying hard. Yeah, I also like how she's just a genius now. Yeah, while they do this at first, it kind of feels like they thought we should give these guys personality. Yeah, it's like, it's crazy because it's like the second they actually try, it works really well. Like, I really like this episode.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I don't know. You say stuff like that, like, oh, all of a sudden they decided to give them personality and stuff, and it's like, I mean, I doubt that because this probably aired on a weekly basis. I don't think they weren't writing the script per week.
No, but I would think it's like very possible they're doing this like script by script, right? Like, you start the script and you do the project in like, I don't know, like 2 or 3 days or whatever, and you work on the next one. And you have some of those stockpiled and you just kind of like keep going as you're like, I was even say like starting to produce the show, but let's say like while they're working on the show, I guess. So it's like, I doubt this is like, oh, we were like finished the script last week and we like, wrote and filmed the entire episode in a week or whatever. But it does definitely feel like they were, absolutely like changing how they thought about these characters as they went on, right? Especially with some of the characterization we get next episode. Like, it feels like they got to a point where they're like, okay, we have to give these guys some, like, standalone episodes. And they stopped and they're like, okay, who actually are these people? And they're kind of, like, forced to establish character traits very immediately.
I don't know. I don't buy into that. I'm pretty sure.
Why not?
Because it seems ridiculous that you would write a script like just as you go instead of like, okay, I have this like planned out and this is how it's gonna go. Like, it seems ridiculous to me that they would write it the way you're thinking. And if they saw like a flaw in it, they wouldn't go back and like, okay, let's make it like work better.
I don't know. It's like, you say that and it's like, I'm sure they had like bigger plans, but it's like, I feel like especially for something like this where it's like, like a longer series, I definitely believe the writing like evolved over time. Like, there's points where I can like feel that, right? Where it's like, okay, like they probably like weren't playing everything, but they're like, okay, we need to have this thing with Karada and we need to have like this deal with like, the Gizamon, everything. And it's like, I don't think they had everything planned out, but I think they had a good idea of where they're going, and they like, adjusted course as needed. I think that's like fairly reasonable.
I don't know. Like, I didn't write it, so I don't know.
Yeah. No idea how close cutting these weekly anime shows were. Scripts could not be finished a few days before airing, but that's usually during trouble production. Oh yeah, that's an extreme case, but that is like very possible. Some shows aren't that planned out. It happens all the time. Last our Digimon show we'll talk about later. Yeah, speaking of shows that aren't planned out, I feel like there's been a few of those we've discussed earlier.
I mean,
there's been a few seasons of Digimon where we've looked at this and we're like, was this a production thing?
I
Could be.
mean, if we're talking Ghost Game, that was
Yeah.
Considering how little plot the show actually has, I don't doubt that they had that part planned, and then they just did Monster of the Week for 60 episodes.
I'm thinking of Ghost Game, and I'm also thinking of like the end of Digimon Frontier. But then I'm also starting to think back on like Digimon 02 a lot, which just felt like just hella chaotic at the end. It was like, oh, I guess we're just doing this now, and let's just drop that plot beat and do something else. And it's like, oh, wait, what? Wait, what are we doing? There's like just a billion continuity errors just out of nowhere, just thrown in. Like, yeah. Like, I don't think it's like that crazy, because it's like, this is like kind of an unrelated example, but to kind of like get to the point of this a bit, like, I know there's like an interview from the series review Starlight, and it's like, kind of obscure show, but it's like, basically the premise is that it's like a freaking like magical girl battle tournament musical series where it's like each fight is like literally an insert song that the characters are singing at each other. And it's like, you think with something like that, it's like, okay, yeah, you have to have your stuff like on point for that. That's like a really difficult premise to pull off. And there's an interview where they're like, oh yeah, we don't actually have like the song right for the like big battle between like, the protagonist and like, the big like rival characters we've like been setting up all season, Maya Tendo. So they're like, oh yeah, we don't actually have the lyrics done for that. We're gonna have to like do those as soon as this interview is over, and then like rush over to the recording booth to like get that done so we can like just shove it in like an hour before the episode airs or some crap, or like, like within the day basically. It's one of those things where it's like, okay, that sounds like so absurd and crazy. It's like, that's just like, part of them having like a really troll production. But I think it does speak to like, how far some of the stuff like can get when you're like trying to put out like a weekly show, right? Like, it's hard to like really plan this stuff out super neatly at times.
Sure, but that's like, I don't know, that's like adding a song versus an entire like story plot.
Yeah, I mean, in that series, the song basically is the story.
And I'm not saying that writing a song is easy. God knows I couldn't do it, but like, it's like, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, because I feel like I get your crowd where it's like, oh yeah, this probably isn't like, it probably wasn't like a last minute thing, but I think it was something they were like, kind of went into, and they didn't have as much time to correct past stuff as you might expect, right?
Yeah.
Like yeah.
So you know how there was like like an opening change. I feel like that might denote like a splitting up of like the series. Maybe there was a hiatus in between.
Yeah, maybe
that and the next one. So I feel, and like the opening change happen after they introduced these characters?
Yes, it happened because like they got their megas last episode. Yeah,
okay.
So it's like the opening change happened. As soon as that hit, like the writing started to feel completely different.
See, okay, so that makes more sense to me if like there was a hiatus there, they got the new intro for it and everything, and then like the writers were like, okay, let's flesh out the characters that we introduced as the villains.
Savers was done in 1 year. Okay, fantastic. Holy crap. But yeah, I was actually looking into this because I was like really curious. It's like, okay, was there like some staff turnover? Like, did they bring on new writers? And I like tried to look this up, and I could find no real information. But I did find something that was kind of interesting that you might be like excited to know about.
Okay.
Because it turns out this series does have a main writer who seems like he's stayed consistent. That writer is Ryota Yamaguchi. And I'm just kind of like glancing through his like resume. It's like, okay, he's not been the main writer on a lot of things, but he's been like a side writer on like a few big things. Like, some stuff that's like kind of more interesting than you would expect. Like, I'm glancing through it, so I'm seeing he was like a side writer on Cowboy Bebop. Like, he wasn't the guy, but he was like working on it, right?
Uh-huh.
And I'm seeing like, Ghost Stories, like the original, not the, not the like English dub, which is amazing.
Yeah,
like,
but apparently
on,
that
like,
apparently that series was bad to the point where it wasn't selling, and that's why we got what we did. Like
like he dabbled on Duel Masters a bit, freaking and Saint Seiya, one of the spin-offs or whatever. And I just glance at the main series, and it's like, okay, not a lot that like we'd really recognize. A lot of like obscure stuff, Cutie Honey, like Precure. And it's like, oh, hang on, he was like the main writer for Metabots.
Sick.
It's like, oh, okay, that's interesting.
That is interesting because Metabots isn't. It has its like more serious plot moments, like as like stuff progresses, but like Metabots is a pretty silly show.
Oh yeah,
like, the villain team is like rubber suit wearing idiots called the Rubber Robo Gang.
The Rubber Robo Gang. Because I don't remember that much about Metabots, but it's like I'm thinking back and it's like, okay, like look at some of the comedy in this series, like that kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, especially with the next episode, holy crap, that feels very in line with Mr. Referee just appearing out of nowhere.
Oh my god, I love Mr. Referee.
Oh man, we really need to do Metabots at some point, because I need to relive that, because I have very, like, muddled, like, nothing childhood memories of, like, giant Metabee blasting a dude, Mr. Referee, and the Rubber Robo Gang.
I love Metabolism, it's my favorite show.
Oh man.
I get it, you're probably on your phone or something.
Yeah, although if it was a joke, I would accept that. That would be fantastic.
If it helps with the autocorrect, it's MEDA, like metal, Metabots.
Yeah.
or if you're Japanese, it's Metarot.
Metarots.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's originally called Metarot for some reason.
Yeah, okay. But yeah, I guess we should probably talk about the actual episode a bit more. Cause it's like, I feel like... Yeah.
We haven't hardly talked about anything.
Also, I really enjoyed this little discussion we had. I think it's, like, really cool. But it's like, I feel like, speaking of, characters aren't the only things that feel a bit inconsistent in this episode. Cause, hey, just out of nowhere, the Gizumon are just suddenly dropping like flies.
Yeah, Ninjamon almost. I mean, Igamon would be accurate too. That's what their Japanese name is. Anyways, the Ninjamon like drops some of them with like random shurikens.
Yeah, it's like I'm looking at this. And it's like, okay, the only in-universe justification I think of is that Kurata's like, oh, I'll just play with them, and intentionally just send out like lesser Gizumon ATs or something. Because there's a point where the Ninjamon throw their shuriken and they can't take them down. And then it's like, no, first they take them down one shot. And more Gizumon ATs appear, like seemingly the exact same models, and they can't beat them. And it's like, oh, okay. Huh.
Well, I mean, maybe they could have took them down. The issue is that when they go to attack, there are other Gizmon behind them, and they like snipe them from behind.
No, I feel like I remember them hitting them, but I could be wrong. I could be super wrong. I should have, like, glanced back at that more.
I just watched the episode, and I don't remember.
Jeez.
But that's the next episode anyways. It could be, I think you floated the idea that, like, Kurata made a really good Gizmon, and the rest are, like, mass-produced and not as strong.
Yeah, maybe. That's possible. I feel like it wouldn't make, like, logical sense because, you know, Gizamon should be a Gizamon. But, like, that does make sense because he's, like, mass-producing them now. So it's like, okay, maybe the first one was just, like, better, you know? Maybe that's, like... Because there's a weird little line where, you know, the characters are fighting, like, the Gizumon at first in the digital world. And they're like, oh, Kurata, like, upgraded them. They're, like, more defensive than before. So there is, like, an implication that it's like, okay, maybe, like, some of these are just, like, stronger than others. Maybe there's, like, you know, like, a grading scale of, like, different tiers of Gizumon ATs or something. But it's like, honestly, what it really is it's probably just, like, you know, the good old law of conservation of ninjutsu trope. Listen,
Yeah.
there's more Gizumon now, so they have to be easier to beat, because if they weren't, we'd be screwed.
Yeah.
Like, that feels like it's what this really is.
Oh yeah, it's like we're coming up with explanations for why these Gizmon might be weaker, but the answer is they need to be weaker so we can have a seemingly big threat and have the heroes actually be able to fight it.
Okay, that's not what I thought was. Let's go back off of that. But yeah, just sort of starts off and it's like, okay, yeah, Kurata is just out there. We know where he is. He's in a little tent in the woods. We should just, like, go out there and just kick his ass. And Masuru's like, you know what? Yeah, let's do it. Come on, guys. Let's just beat him up and end this. And, yeah.
Thoma's like, but we have a perfectly good strategy. We have a heavily fortified wall. We can wait for them to attack and have the advantage. And Masaru's like, no, I'm gonna go kill him.
Yeah, we need to, like, stop this now. You know, it's like, this is one of those situations where it's like, okay, I get what Masaru's saying, but it's like, you know, maybe strategy would be good.
I think Masaru is letting the savior thing go to his head.
Yeah, it seems like he's getting a bit cocky, a bit too overconfident.
Yeah, because he has in the past acknowledged Thoma's, like, intelligence and, like, his ability to strategize, but but now he's just kind of like, oh, screw your strategy. The best defense is an offense where we just go kill Kurata. And Thoma's like, no, you idiot, it's a trap.
I feel like, think about it, to give Masaru some credit, there have been times where Kurata's been, like, very quick to run away a lot. So it's like, okay, it's very possible they, like, maybe think it a little bit. And he's like, okay, maybe if we, like, just let him come to us, he'll have, like, an escape route or whatever, and he'll just, like, run off again, you know? We should just go down here and stuff, so, like, we should just go down and stop him so that, you know, this stops being a problem, you know? We need to, like, take him out before it can hurt anyone or, like, escape again. And just end this crap.
Yeah. I don't know, I just think it's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, everyone is just disregarding Thoma entirely.
Yeah, this is one of those things where it's like...
Even the old guy is like, I don't know, maybe we just go with Masaru's plan.
Like, there's a bit of weird character regression, because it's like, oh, you know, we're going back to, hey, we need to work around Masaru. but also feels like earned and like really well handled, you know? Because it's like there's a reason why Masaru would like have this stuff go to his head and why everyone side with him. And there's a reason why that like gun under Toma's collar and have him be like, wait, but no though, you have to listen to me for a second, We need to like think this out for a moment. We need to plan this.
And admittedly, the episode's message seems to be that Masaru is in the right here. Which is kind of odd.
I think it's less that Masaru is right, and it's more like you need to be more flexible, Thoma. Because, it's like, oh yeah, if Thoma didn't do what he did, they would have just lost Eldoradamon. Like, because, as soon as the battle starts, the freaking Gizmo are just attacking. And it's like, while they're busy defending the base, Nanami just goes around to the waterfall, and she's like, oh hey, if I just blow up this waterfall, I'll drain the water, and we'll strand Eldoradamon, and, that'll, like, really hinder it for the fight. And it's like, oh, yeah, that actually is a problem. Maybe we should have been worried about this. Killing this was because Masaru's headstrong vibe has seen them through a lot more. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, raw emotion and brute strength has gotten them through most situations, but it's like it's not like Thoma's trying to strategize is like wrong.
Yeah, it's like Masaru isn't an idiot as much as it feels like it. He's good thinking on his feet and he's bad at planning, but he's not a complete moron. I feel like that's been pretty like, well established so far. That's like he's very impulsive, but he's not a complete dumbass.
Yeah.
This is because Masaru's, it's attacking more of what Thomas lacks, makes you wonder what Masaru lacks. Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
I mean,
maybe this is gonna be some character development for both of them.
I mean, Masaru lacks, like, strategy and planning.
Yeah, he lacks patience, I think is a good way to put it. He really lacks patience.
Yeah.
He sees a problem and he's like, okay, let's just deal with that right now. And he just goes for it.
Yeah. I do want to point out that Masaru uses the word kill when referring to like going to deal with Karada.
Oh yeah, I'm sure the dub absolutely changed that one.
Yeah, we're gonna go beat Karada, or like we're gonna go beat him up or something. Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna destroy Karada.
I mean, for Digimon, even destroy might be too much.
You say that, but that's the common expression in Digimon World 2 every single time. It's like, oh yeah, hey, Hagurumon's being a bit of a pain. Go out with your freaking tank and destroy Hagurumon. You need to just annihilate him. You need to wipe him off the map.
Well, like, so those are like, that's like an older series, kind of like the older Digimon.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I don't know. Like, I feel like you were allowed to say and do more, like, back then, and then everybody started getting more, like, sensitive, I guess. It's like, oh, the kids can't hear the word kill on TV.
Yeah. You know what? He gotta go. We gotta take out Karada. He's a problem.
April 2nd, 2006 is back when Savers started.
But yeah, they get into the actual fight, and it's like a lot of sexual tension, a lot of like, oh hey Thomas, maybe you should join us after all. The people here don't understand you. And you look back at the stuff with Masaru, and it's like, yeah, she's not completely wrong. She's hitting on something real here.
Also, I couldn't, like, back to like the animators for this, I couldn't help but notice how many times they like flirt with like how high her skirt can go when she's jumping around and doing attacks and stuff.
Oh yeah, she does a lot of kicking moves.
It's like, all right, animators, calm down.
Calm down now. And it's like the guy's like, no, I will make this look as good as possible. It's like, all right, that's cool, but can you like, oh geez, that shot looks crazy.
Also, she's fighting Galmon. She's like going one-on-one with Galmon and beating him up.
Thoma does like the legs. Listen, I feel like there's a joke here somewhere, because it's like we have 2 points of reference, and that's like Nanami and Masaru's mom. What is Thoma's type exactly? I feel like it's not that hard to put like some commonality here, you know? I'm not smart enough to figure out what, but just, yeah, insert joke here, I guess.
I mean, there's not really... I don't think there's too much overlap between Masaru's mom and...
I am desperately trying to think of any overlap.
I don't think there is any.
Is there just no overlap at all? Is there like nothing me and you like jokingly joke about here?
No, because they're so completely like different from each other.
Oh no. Oh man. But yeah, turns out, new bioform, Nanami got an upgrade. And yeah, she is just Lotusmon now, which confused the heck out of me until I realized that it has a snake staff. It's like, yo, what? Fair enough.
Yeah, it's Lotusmon, but she has bio in front of her name.
I spent so much time looking back and forth between the Digimon and like what's in the show to try and like be like, okay, is there any subtle difference here at all? You know, like, is the staff different? Is like, the head thing a little different? Is, maybe the sphere's a bit... It's just Lotusmon.
It's just Lotusmon.
If this guy does the episode with Masaru's mom, oh god. Oh no. Jeez, it's just Lotusmon. It
was kind of surprising that Nanami isn't like Yoshino's like opponent. Like I'm not complaining about it. It's just usually they would do that. It's like the girl fights the girl.
Honestly, I genuinely appreciate that they kept this from becoming a catfight thing. Although they did make it accidentally two really weird, like, tense romantic pairings in completely different ways. But other than that...
Yeah, they avoided like the catfight thing, but then they just kind of made it weird in a different way.
They avoided one trope and they ran into another. And you know what? Fair enough, I think it worked out. I don't know what a Nanami Yoshino fight would have looked like, but I can't imagine it'd be as cool as this.
Also, it probably wouldn't have gone super well because the whole idea is like the battle of geniuses thing. Like,
yeah.
I think Yoshino probably just would have lost.
Yoshino will have just went full on, like, head empty and will have just gone destroyed. And she will have done something super reckless and out stupid Nanami.
Yeah.
I guess that's a difference. It's like, Nanami has no expectations for Yoshino, so it's like she'd be able to predict her perfectly. The reason Thoma won is because she has respect for his intelligence.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, Yoshino, like they could have wrote it so that Yoshino wins because Nanami severely underestimates her.
You know what? That would work. That would be fun. I could see that.
It's like, oh, I'm so above you. I'm a genius. Ha ha ha. And then Yoshino pulls out something unexpected that she couldn't have seen coming and just loses.
Didn't know just using a bunch of instant transmissions showcases strategy. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of this fight's teleporting, and you know what? You do what you gotta do. I'm all for it. I'm fine with this.
At one point, Mirage Galgamon makes a bunch of clones.
Yeah, honestly, that's a pretty cool clone attack. It's pretty cool.
It's pretty neat.
Makes a bunch of clones and he, like, attacks under her to, like, make her jump and tries to, like, come up from below or some crap. And it's like, okay, yeah, that's a cool way to do it. That's interesting.
Yeah, and then I was like, okay, like at one point, Mirage Galgamon is like, okay, tell me how to fight. She's predicting all my moves. And then I was like, how's he gonna do that without revealing how they're going to attack? And it's like, oh right. He has like pre-planned like attack call outs that are like Omega whatever, and
yeah,
then like
we're
he
back
does
to like
whatever.
the attack patterns and stuff. He's like, okay, yeah, like plan Gamma Z4, and Galgamon's like, okay, yeah, got it. Like, before I go on to the other fight, should we talk about the scene?
I mean, yeah.
Should we talk about this weird effing scene? This weird, super good looking, super well animated, freaking weird ass scene where like Nanami just hypnotizes Thoma by like forming evil lambda like snake versions of herself to like
Lamia
and snake versions to coil around him, and she tries to like strangle him out while seducing him with the temptation of becoming gods of the digital world.
Yeah, with our genius, we could be like, I think she says, with our genius, we could become the gods of this new world. Like, she's going full Death Note.
Yeah, it's like, it's really good, but it's also like, holy shit, this is a lot. This is like a lot. Also, yeah, this is definitely someone's fesh. Absolutely. Listen, we all saw that freaking episode with Akuto's mom. We know this guy has like a bondage fesh already. This is like nothing new. I should have completely expected this to happen. Oh, man. Jeez. And yeah, it's super cool, super interesting. And yeah, as you probably expected, yeah, this got mad censored. This got mad censored.
That looks so weird.
Because in the original shot, it's like, alright, they're basically naked, but it's like there's a bit of shadow, and it's like kind of unclear. It's like, alright, maybe they're wearing like a bit of like a weird, like, like covering over their breasts or whatever. Like, you're not seeing anything, but it's like, alright, it's very risque. And it's like, okay, say, hey, hey, freaking Bill, can you just take a Sharpie and just,
just color in the boobs.
Yeah, come on, it's only gonna be a shot for like a second. We just need to like just get it done. Disney said no.
Yeah, that looks so bad.
So this is like One Piece level editing. Holy crap.
Like, no attempt to, like, I don't know, color in a little bit more so it looks like she has like a leotard kind of thing going on, or like anything. Yeah. It's like, no, just color in the problematic parts.
I like that. It's like, maybe it's like the resolution, but it looks like you can see like the scratch marks of like where the pin stopped, like it seems like uneven. It's clear just layered on.
Yeah, no, it's this looks bad. That's funny.
Oh man. And as noticed this, I'm like, oh, should I do a sub versus dub on this? And it's like, yeah, nah, it's fine just to show this image. I think this is good enough.
Probably see it. Like, the scene is like a second or two long.
Yeah. I should mention, I did finally get the Citramon sub versus dub out. I finally did that.
Yeah.
And boy, that's goofy. And boy, to have fun making a dumb thing about afterwards that everyone should check out, that should actually be up, like, right now if you're watching the stream.
Ow, crap.
Oh, man. So that's gonna be fun. I hope people like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess the only way to stop the only way to outsmart her is to outdumb her.
And so Thoma just he get for the baffling part of this strategy, he gets on Mirage Galgamon's shoulder and says, "All right, just go right at her." And then she fires a thing, and he's just like, "Don't dodge it, just go through it." With like Thoma's on his shoulder, where he's getting hit by the attack and not dying somehow.
Yeah, they're kind of blocking it, you know?
I just don't get what part. Like, I know that he's like, oh, there was no strategy, but it's like, no, this is technically a strategy. Doing something that she wouldn't predict is a strategy in and of itself.
The strategy is brute forcing it.
Yeah, but what part of that strategy required you to be riding on Mirage Galgamon's shoulder?
So I have an idea about this, right? I really doubt this was in their playbook of, like, coordinated, you know, like, things to just do. So he probably has jumped up there to tell him the strategy and to, like, give him orders. Because, like, yeah, we don't have, like, a keyword for this. We have some, like, you know, code word we can just say or whatever. So it's like, guess, okay, yeah, just do exactly what I say for you to do, and just, yeah, keep at. I'm gonna put myself on the line too, you know, trust me, it'll work out.
I guess maybe the idea is like him being like, him telling Mirage Galgamon to just keep going through the attack. Like if he had said it, if he'd yelled it to him from far away, Bio Lotus Bond might have like, been like, oh, he's trying something, I'm gonna back off.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
So maybe she couldn't hear him telling him to just keep going.
Yeah, he was channeling Moss through there. Seems like something to do. Yeah, that makes sense. It's just like, man.
They get point blank and Mirage Galgamon does his big laser attack.
How goofy would have been if the strategy was to just block the beam, charge in, and Thoma just jumps out and punches her out, and it just makes Galgamon stronger.
That would have been, you know what? That would have been more fitting of what Nanami says at the end.
Yeah.
So Nanami loses, and she's like, I don't consider this a loss because you used Masaru Daimon's power, like of going brute force or whatever.
Yeah.
It would have made more sense if he did jump off of Mirage Galgamon and like punched her.
Yeah. That'd be great. Yeah, I think like my one big complaint is that it's like, oh yeah, he shoots the thing and it just doesn't look particularly like cool or flashy. He just kind of does it and it just ends the battle. And I'm like, oh, that was fast. That was a bit anticlimactic.
Yeah, and it seems like these three, like kind of jumping ahead to the next episode a little bit. It seems like we're going to deal with these three really quickly.
Oh yeah, this is like one episode each.
Like I don't, and like the way they're defeated, I don't think they're going to come back as villains, because so when Thoma and Mirage Galgamon defeat her, you see her lying on the ground defeated, but also you see the Digi-Egg of the Digimon she was fused with. So she doesn't have the Digimon data inside her anymore, seemingly.
Yeah, that's a weird thing, but it's like, I guess that makes sense, huh? Because it's like, alright, what happens if you beat someone that's part human, part Digimon? And it's like, alright, well, they go back into being a human, and like, yeah, the Digimon just gets reverted, and it's like, okay, well, yeah, I guess that's that.
Yeah, it just separates. Yeah, I think you asked the question of what happens when these guys are defeated in a previous podcast, and yeah, we got our answer.
Yeah, Yeah, makes sense. That adds up. And, like, yeah, also it's worth knowing that after she's, like, defeated, the staff resonates with energy and it just blows up the waterfall anyways and drains the water. And it's like, oh, but she actually kind of won. She accomplished her objective, you know?
Yeah, and I would chalk it up to coincidence if not for the writers pushing how hard that she is a genius.
Yeah, I definitely buy that she left the staff there just in case and just kept fighting.
Yeah.
Just as a contingency. They hit them harder. That's why it worked this time.
Also, I
Oh,
was
man.
seriously questioning, like, oh my god, did they actually like kill her? Seemingly not, because Thoma's going out of his way to carry her back.
Yeah, how cool will it be if they did kill her and it's like, oh yeah, these villains cast suck. They're just gonna die. We're just gonna murder these dudes. Hard cut to the dolphins, like they have to add them into the final episode in the background somewhere, just to be like, oh, don't worry, they lived, I guess. Haha.
I can see their parachutes.
Yeah. Oh god, that tickles. Jeez. Anything else we have to say out this episode?
Nah, not really. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, this is a good one. They're redeeming these villains for me way more than I ever thought they would. Holy crap.
They're way more interesting than they initially were.
Yeah. Like, that's not reduced in, like, oh, they're good guys or whatever, but, you know, in the sense of, like, oh, wow, this is the most I've ever cared about them. They're actually, like, yeah, this is, like, a good Nanami episode. She's, like, a really effective antagonist in this one.
I mean, they're totally gonna change sides.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Like, the fact that they didn't die means that, and, like, spoilers, the next episode, one of them has a sympathetic backstory. They're gonna change sides.
We're gonna get to the point where it's like, it's gonna be like, call it now. The only one that's going to die is gonna be Bird Guy, and it's because Karada's gonna just murder the fuck out of him.
I mean, maybe. Or he doesn't have a sad backstory, and so it's like, okay, he's gotta go.
Yeah, like, it's gonna be like Karada or Gizumon or, like, some evil force. And, like, you know, in the final battle, they're gonna show up and, like, help out just a little, you know? They're just gonna show up just enough to be like, oh yeah, we regained our hyper bioevolutions, and we're, like, you know, saving people in the town from collateral damage or something. And that's gonna be their big, like, ending off point.
You know how they could help, like, actually fight and still have, like, their Digimon like abilities and stuff or whatever.
How? They get partners?
Yeah, specifically the Digimon that they were fused with.
Yeah, that makes sense. That does work out.
Because, like,
yeah,
it's like there's like a whole thing with, like, bonding with Digimon, and, like, they were literally bonded with their Digimon.
Yeah, you get, like, I'm trying to think, what'd be good Digimon for this? Like, I don't know, Orochimon, and, like, what'd be a good ultimate level dinosaur? I don't know, like, let's say, like, Orochimon, and even though it's not the same level, like, yo, actually, Orochimon and Triceramon, that'd be a good pairing, yeah.
Well, no, they would just get the Digimon that they fused into.
What I'm thinking is that it's like, those Digimon are armor forms, so it's like, oh, what if they, like, turn into eggs, revert back to rookies, and they just show up at the end with, like, their ultimate levels?
I mean, like, I know that yeah, maybe they're armor Digimon, but that doesn't seem to matter too much.
Like, I think it'd be cool, yeah.
Outside of 0-2, where it's a plot element, the Digimon armor thing doesn't seem to matter all that much.
It's hard to say, because I don't think we've ever seen anything turn to an armor evolution so far. Now outside of, like, you know, like, literally using Digi-Eggs.
Yeah.
Like, we've seen them around, but yeah.
I guess it's not from a show, and it's like from a mod of Cyber Sleuth, but I got a Digimon from a mod called Prairiemon, who I learned is an
Yeah.
armor evolution.
Yup.
Yeah, that
Prairiemon's
one
pretty
was
good.
that one was weird. Yeah, it's just a prairie dog with giant claws and like blades in its hair.
I'm kind surprised that mod is filling out a lot of, like, the armor forms and stuff before it's actually getting to, like, the big stuff from Rearise, which is, like, the X antibody forms and stuff.
And there are mods for X antibody stuff.
Oh, are they? Because it's like, I'm thinking of, like, oh yeah, all the Roll Knights having their X antibody forms in that game, and, like, all the big, crazy, goofy endgame stuff they threw out for that.
Oh yeah, there's mods for that.
Yeah.
The one I have adds a bunch of stuff. It even has some of the Devas.
Yeah, that's always cool. The
Like,
Davis
I
need
think
to show up as playable characters in more things.
yeah, I believe my Prairiemon turned into Kumbiramon, the mouse.
Yeah. Oh, that's neat. Yeah. I like
But it
that.
but it has the move Dragon Impulse for some reason.
But
I
yeah.
think the modder put the models in, and then they were like, okay, let's rework like some special attacks for these guys.
Yeah, makes sense. I mean, I really want the new stories game. Playing through Cyber Sleuth again, I can go a hacker's memory. Yeah. I hope they keep the Digimon story series going like that, like the Cyber Sleuth stuff. I hope they do more of that.
Yeah, it'd be good.
But yeah,
But
anything
yeah,
else we have to say out this episode?
nah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, this is a good one.
It's pretty good.